Hi guys, this is Aniruddha Jadhav, Senior Software Developer. So in this video, I'll be talking on method overriding in Java. Here are 2 points. The first is the definition of method overriding, and the second is the rules of method overriding. Rules we'll discuss in a later part. We'll first discuss what is the definition. So the definition says that it is a mechanism from which we can override the functionality of the parent class through methods. Okay, now let's understand it through the example. So here I have two classes, so class thought and class advice. So class advice exchange class thought, so it does mean that class advice is a child of class thought. Okay, so the both the classes contain message method. So and they have exactly same. Okay, so we can see they are exactly as same, just they have a different body, method body. Okay, so this in this way we can achieve method overriding. Okay, the main purpose of method overriding is that we can have two versions of the same method. Okay, so we can use the old version, which is this one, as well as we can use the newer version, which is this one. Okay, so we have created two versions of a same method. Okay, now let's go to the rules. So the rule number one. So first let me tell you, this rule are not the official rule, so do not consider it as the official rules. So these are just like to categorize the different criteria of method overriding. Okay, now the rule number one has few points, so let's discuss them. So method name must be same. Yeah, I do understand. We have seen in the last example the method name was exactly same. The parameter time must be same. Yeah, I do understand this also, and the parameter order should be also same. So just keep this in mind. Type and order of the parameter should be same. Okay, now the rule what now the let's go to the point 3. So return type will be considered. Okay, now in the last example we have seen that the return type was void, and it was same in both the classes. So we can say that okay, we can say that we will consider the return type. So we'll discuss this point in rule number 2 in much detail. So let's go to the point number 4. Access specifier will be considered. Okay, the access specifier are default, then private, protected, public. These are all the access specifier. We specify the access of a variable or a method. Okay, now we have another point which says that access modifier will be considered. Now access modifier are public, sorry, my mistake, final, abstract. These are the access modifier. Okay, now we'll go to the our now we'll go to the editor. Okay, here is our editor, so we can see over here. So let me write over string. Here I have written string, public string, greeting, like we seen in the example in the ppt. So here we have greeting, and here we have morning greeting as a child of greeting. Okay, both the classes contains create greeting method. Okay, now here I have created the object reference of the parent class, and here I am creating object of the child class. Okay, and here I am calling the create greeting method. And now let's see what will be the output. Okay, here we can see good morning Anirudh. So we are successfully able to override this get greeting method. Okay, now here we have the return type is same. Okay, here we have the parameters as exactly the same. Okay, and here we have access specifier publicly the exact same. So we can say that we have successfully accomplished rule number 1. Now we'll go back to the ppt. Okay, now let's talk about rule number 2. Okay, so covariant return type is allowed. Now what do I mean by that? Now let's check out the example. We'll go back to the editor, and this time we'll make some changes. So here we are on the editor. So here I now make this as object. Okay, so here I made the change. I have made a slight change. I have kept the string as an object. Okay, so I will run the application. So see, we are still able to execute the application. Now I will write over here pop, change the parameter. Yeah, so good morning pop. So we are successfully able to override method through covariant return type. Okay, now what do I mean by covariant? Covariant means there should be a parent and child relationship between the parent class method and the child class method, and the rule does give emphasizes that the parent class should have the parent return type and the child class should have the child return type. So keep this rule in mind. The vice versa is not possible. So for example, if I write over here string, and if I write over here object, okay, so this gives me a compilation error. So covariant return type is allowed, and will so we can accomplish. So by this we have accomplished the rule number 2. Now let's go to the rule number 3. Okay, we will go back to the slide once more. Okay, and here is the rule number 3. So X specifier cannot reduce the method scope. Okay, I repeat, the X specifier cannot reduce the method scope. Okay, we'll go back to the editor and let's see what do I mean by that. Okay, so here is our X specifier public and public. Now let me modify that. Okay, the rule says that I cannot reduce the scope of X specifier, so modify that. So I have kept a default X specifier for the parent class and the public X specifier for the child class. I will give something different parameters. So let's say we say Michael. Okay, now I execute this method. So good morning Michael. So the third, we have successfully accomplished the third rule. Just let's have some vice versa discussion. So now I keep over here private. Okay, now as we can clearly see the private method cannot be accessed outside the class. So here is the reason why we'll get a compilation error. Okay, now let's go to default. We have seen. Now let's go to protected. Yeah, so protected, I have kept this as protected. So I will execute the application. Yeah, so I will change the name. Now I execute the application. So yeah, so good morning Jayashri. So we are successfully able to override by accomplishing the rule number 3. So let's now try to break rule number 3. So here you see I will write over here public, and here I will write as protected. Okay, so here you can clearly see it is not giving me to override this method. So let's try default over here. Okay, still I am not able, I am getting compiler error. So this means that we cannot reduce the scope of the X specifier. Okay, so by this we are able to achieve method overloading by rule 3. In the next video I will be talking on the rule number 4 that dictates on the exception handling. I have kept a separate video because if I accomplish all the rules in the one video, the video might get long. So now let's see you in the second part of the video. Till then, thank you guys.